Hello everyone and welcome to Faithful to the Traitors, where we are discussing Series 3 on the Traitors US. Alex finds it hard to stay quiet. Before we start filming, everyone, I'm Ben, this is Alex to my right.
Hello everyone.
We have to stay quiet for about 10 to 15 seconds before we start filming for noise reduction, background noise.
Yep.
You find that very hard to do, don't you? So every time we start the podcast and we're always mid-laugh or looking at each other, that's why, because you can't stay quiet for 10 seconds.
I'm fidgety. I can't not do anything for a long period of time. You know that. You know better than that.
We need 10 seconds of ambient noise.
No, can't do it.
So,
or I either whistle theme tunes or I always start a story. It's because I'm uncomfortable with an awkward silence. Yeah. And so I start telling a really stupid story and then it strings along and then you look at me with disappointment and anger.
And the podcast was born.
There we go. Hello. What a really good penultimate episode.
I know, there's lots going on. When I saw that it was 61 minutes long, I thought, oh, that's a bit odd for an episode 10.
Glad you added minutes.
Normally, it's a bit slow, this one. But no, this one had lots happening, lots going on.
The episodes 8 and 9 were slow. Hence why, if you listen back to those episodes, we'd end up just talking about nothing to do with the show. But this episode, there's a lot to talk about, and it really was jam-packed.
3 people want us to do White Lotus after apparently.
Where's that come from? You said I talk random nonsense, and you're like.
But last week, apparently, we talked. Did we say we were going to talk about the White Lotus?
I think we talked about.
3 people have said you should do that. Yes, it's like I can't remember saying it, but
it's more likely. I would say that because we had nothing to talk about, we started talking about what TV shows we're watching this week, and so then that came up, and yeah, White Lotus is a very good show. I mean, we could talk about the White Lotus, but I don't think it's got much relevance to
the Traitors. No.
The Traitors right now.
I do love the 3 women who are friends though, and they talk about each other when one of them's out.
Oh yeah, they stab each other's back.
They're fun. Love them. Anyway,
I like the guy who we found out he's a like the character you don't like, but he's Arnold Schwarzenegger's son.
Oh yeah, the weird sibling.
The one who wanted a happy ending.
With his brother who watches. They're weird as well, the 3 siblings.
What's that's really incestuous, isn't it, them 3?
It's all very odd.
So yeah, if you want a White Lotus podcast, let us know. We might do that at some point.
Who did the robbery? Who knows?
Well, it's the shooting you want to know, isn't it? The beginning of the first episode. Anyway, the 10th episode of Traitors, by the way, had lots going for it. There was the reveal of the seer, which obviously has happened already in the UK. Not who is the seer, but that as a twist in the show.
There is going to be one.
Backstabbing, Gabby after Danielle after Gabby. Ivor's name thrown into the mix for some random reason, then causing the upset that was the round table this episode. We lost Tom, which we'll talk more about in a second.
Yes.
He disappeared because obviously he got
brushed
murdered.
His hair, didn't he, in his hotel room? Brushed his hair, and then
brushed his hair with his dressing gown undone. Yeah, yeah.
One little slinky button keeping him.
Any
composed.
goodwill we had toward Tom, because obviously we got a lot of stick saying like, you don't know Tom, you don't know him, and we were like, yes, I know, but we only know him from this show. We don't know him from Vanderbilt, blah, and whatever.
Vanderbilt.
I don't know.
Vanderpump
rules.
Still don't know what that is.
It's a restaurant. I think. I don't know. But any goodwill that we had for Tom disappeared because he was a bit of a prick when he decided to do his goodbye. A bit like what Wes did. We had very goodwill for Wes, then Wes ended up being a prick at the end of his goodbye. All that kind of went out the window.
The real Tom appeared for 10 seconds on screen.
And I must say,
I'm amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm really good. And everyone knows how good I am. It's like, pardon?
And the reason why I've been murdered is because I knew who the traitors were, even though he had no idea. He was looking for statues.
You can't take away his wonderful mane.
Mane? What, his hair?
Yes.
His hair was awful. It always looked like Doc from Back to the Future. His hair. You've not seen Back to the Future, have you?
I've seen bits of it, but I thought he was bold, Doc.
No, Christopher Lloyd, isn't it? Actor plays him. Anyway, look, guys. Yes. Listen to me. Come here. Listen a little closer, okay? Come a little
Alex
closer.
has had a coffee. How many shots of coffee was in the one you bought just now?
4 shots.
Right.
Well, you get a free coffee. Listen, when you buy Costa, I've got a Costa here. If you're on a sponsor, by the way, please feel free to get in touch because I would happily take that sponsor.
My dad's boycotting Costa.
Oh yeah, because
their milk has God knows.
And let's not
Bill
talk
Gates
about,
in it.
Yeah, Bill Gates has been adding microchips to their milk. Costa you buy 10 coffee, you get a free one. It's not a good deal, but you get a free one. And anyway, over Christmas they had a lovely drink, so I bought a lot of it because I was feeling flush for Christmas.
Right.
And I got a free drink. if you're getting a free drink, you put everything into that free drink until it's the most expensive drink you can buy. So I put 2 extra shots in, syrup, oat milk, large. You just add everything to it.
Anything you can.
And that's why, I've had a few too many shots. But
the woman did say, she didn't make it until you turned up. She said, there's 4 shots. Are you sure? Is that correct? Even the barista was like, what are you doing?
And I said, yes, please make me my drink.
4 shots
I
of
requested.
Coffee, so good luck, everyone.
You woman, make my drink.
All right, Tom.
Right, yeah, exactly. I felt I got my inner Tom. So if you guys want to talk to us about the Traitors and you have any comments that you like to make, especially now the next episode is the final, so you really do need to get them in quick, then go to faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com to send us an email. You can comment underneath the video if you're watching us on YouTube. Just search Faithful to the Traitors podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe and ring the bell. Comment underneath is always good fun. We love reading those comments. They're like the most fun comments, the ones underneath on the YouTube video.
Someone called us sexist this week.
Which, it was fine. Freedom of speech.
I said we are sexist. We hate all the men.
And that's exactly. So there you go.
Apart from men who take their tops off. So we're the most sexist there is.
Not misogynistic. We like just men. We just like men.
Dylan had his top off again this week, didn't he?
He
can't
did.
keep it on.
I think the Scottish winter is playing havoc with his facial skin routine.
He's a bit flushed.
Bit red. I think it's very raw. Very raw up north, isn't it? If you want to follow us on X, we're at Traitors Podcast, or on Instagram at Faithful to the Traitors. Again, you can send us a direct message on them. If you like the podcast, don't forget to subscribe if you're listening to us on your favourite podcast app, and comment and give us 5 stars if you like us. Share us with your friends. Tell everyone about us. But also, if you like us and you want to give Charlie or us a monetary gold, silver coin bar.
Producer Charlie.
He's feeling, again, every Friday, he feels sorry for himself. Maybe it's the end of the week's blues.
He doesn't want to work on the podcast.
Exactly. Just don't be bothered to work. Go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful, where you can obviously give us a silver coin, gold bar, but you can also comment, and those comments will be guaranteed to be read out.
Mm-hmm. We didn't have any this week.
No, but we've been. I must say,
screw you.
Yes, so fuck you. No, but can I say thank you to everyone who's been helping us with going to buy me a coffee. Honestly, it's very well received, and it helps with the podcast. So really, 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 really grateful for that.
Right, so we did get an email that I thought I'd read out for you because you may enjoy this. Okay.
Hide your screen.
So this is from Anna.
Hi, Anna.
And it's titled Ekin.
Oh no.
Are you going to mention Ekin-Su in every episode for the rest of time?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you've discussed her in every single episode of the UK Series 3 and US Series 3 so far. It's so annoying and it's weird.
The irony is the fact that we probably might have not mentioned her in this episode, but now we have to because of that email from Anna. So thanks, Anna. Now we can mention her again.
We haven't talked about her every episode, but she is a contestant of the Traitors US Series 2. So technically, out of all the things we do talk about, which we go off on our random things, we're allowed to talk about Ekin Boo Hoo. I'm wondering if Anna... Remember when I said on my TikTok, lots of people kept commenting to me saying, leave Ekin alone. They kept DMing me all these Ekin-Su.
Anna could be one
I'm
of
wondering
the Ekin
if Anna
fans.
is an Ekin fan.
Maybe. I mean, you should be grateful, Anna, that Ekin lives in our minds rent-free.
Exactly.
Because she does.
She released a book last year.
Who, Anna or Ekin-Su?
Maybe
Anna's the unofficial autobiography of Ekin-Su.
She's the actual writer. But yeah, her launch didn't go very well. Didn't sell very well.
Autobiography. The fact I didn't even know about it, and apparently I'm obsessed with the woman, just goes to show how much publicity for that book was. Are you looking up her book? I want to know what it's called. Autobiography. Yeah. Gosh, she's had that much of a life, has she? Christ.
Be your own best friend and other lessons.
Be your own best friend. Oh, that's a very mute picture of her.
She's had 11 reviews, 4 stars. So there you go.
Good for her.
We love it.
Forging a career out of nothing. That's the way to do it. Well done, Ekin-Su.
So everyone go buy her autobiography, please.
Yes,
Ekin-Su,
it's 44% off in the Amazon store.
Be your own best
quality.
Friend. And other lessons from a life in and out of the limelight.
If you've got Audible...
I've got one credit, so I buy it.
You can use one of your credits on Ekin-Su.
Do you think she narrates?
I was about to ask, does Ekin-Su narrate her own book, or is that
Yes, she does.
God, good for her.
Author and narrator.
I bet she enjoyed doing that as well.
So there's something to do.
Brittany is now a traitor.
Like we all thought.
Danielle has successfully got her friend on board, but it might not last very long. However, we'll get to that as we in a moment. But we had the more important stuff of choosing someone to murder. So there was also a murder to kind of move away suspicion that obviously a traitor has been recruited, because that would look too obvious.
And for the
if there was
first
no murder.
time in this series, the traitors are working together.
It was shocking,
I do
wasn't
feel
it?
like this isn't a fake working together.
No.
This is real. Brittany has Danielle's back, and Danielle needs it. And Brittany is working overtime, walking up and down the hallway this week.
She was working, wasn't
she?
she?
was going everywhere trying to set this all up.
She was working for
trying to
Gabby's
help.
exit.
So this is quite nice that two traitors are actually working together.
It was
I
very
enjoy
coherent.
that. Mhm.
It was a moment. It really was a moment, because for the first time in the history, not even the first time the traitors got together, when it was Bob the drag queen, Danielle, and Carolyn. Even then, there still wasn't quite the coherency, because Carolyn was always in the sideline.
And Danielle wanted to get rid of Carolyn straight away.
Yeah, and Danielle and Bob the drag queen were kind of like the two, leaders in that pack. So this is the first time where you saw two people working together and making a choice, and it was a choice between Ivor, Tom, and Gabby.
Before we talk about the murder, though, Brittany, obviously we knew she was going to say yes to being a traitor, but there has been some outside news outside of the show. Carolyn, on her podcast, has said that she believes Danielle had told Brittany that she was a traitor and broke her NDA.
What, on the show?
She said, so Brittany knew Danielle was a traitor, and Danielle broke all the rules and told her beforehand. Now, there has been an interview on Variety magazine with the producers.
This is a claim. This is a claim. This is what I'm here for.
So the question was, Carolyn has claimed that Danielle told Brittany, and maybe even Dylan Efron, that's Zac Efron's brother, that she was a traitor. Is this true in breaking NDAs? So the producer has said, I find that theory mad, if I'm honest. Which, we love Carolyn. Mad.
Yes.
We listen to absolutely everything that happens in the castle. We're with them 24/7, and they're either filming or they're in their rooms separate. There was never a moment where any of us ever heard Danielle reveal to Brittany or anyone else that she was a traitor. Also, that would be an absolutely crazy move, because you're then out of the game, essentially. I can't see any reason why anyone would ever do that. So the producers have said no.
I don't think she would have done that, especially the accusation that Zac Efron's brother, Dylan, sorry, I forgot his name then, Dylan, had said it. Had been told, sorry, because I don't think that would have worked for her advantage, really. Especially when, in this episode, you saw Danielle panic when Dylan said he was planning to maybe lean toward voting for her.
So, I mean, maybe it would have been believable if she
true.
just told Brittany, but then Carolyn said she also maybe have told Dylan.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't know.
I think Carolyn's feeling a bit hurt and cheated, and so in bad faith she decided to throw an accusation toward
Maybe
Danielle.
it'll come up on the reunion. They filmed that yesterday as time of filming. So.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the reunion, which, by the way, as not a spoiler, but as a little bit of a tease, we will be covering the reunion for the first time. We're going to cover the American reunion.
We've never seen
year.
one before. We don't know what happens, so
we always avoided them.
We'll round up the series, I think.
Yeah, we always avoided them because we always felt like they were a bit like they were just kind of like
they're so American.
Yeah, really American. But we thought, no, you know what? We can also round up the series by watching the reunion, and then we can talk about our thoughts as well. So that'd be fun. However, Brittany's now a traitor, so it's time for.
What's your name and where do you come from?
Brittany, not Spears. 37-year-old Brittany appeared on season 12 and 14 of the US version of Big Brother, as well as Big Brother Reindeer Games. That's cropped up again.
Reindeer Games.
Is that a Christmas special?
Must be a Christmas special.
She became a fan favourite, known for her witty quips and epic takedowns of fellow housemates. Rachel Riley. Rachel was on last series of Traitors US, wasn't she? She had red hair.
Oh yeah, Rachel Riley.
I'm sure she was.
Because Rachel Riley was, I kept saying Countdown
Woman. Yeah. So there you go. See, we do remember people.
But it's not Countdown Woman. It's another woman.
Yeah, she was on Traitors series 1 or 2. I can't remember which one. She was okay. She wasn't great.
Not memorable, clearly.
Well, I remembered her because I remembered her name.
Yeah, but not memorable enough for...
She had red hair and leather outfits. That's all I remember.
Okay.
So there you go. There was also a murder, which was Tom. Should we do his fact file while we're here?
Yeah, let's do it. So Tom was out. Let me just quickly say Tom was out because it wouldn't be a big dent in the group, because to be fair, a lot of the group kind of didn't really listen to him anyway, despite him saying that
Dolores hated him.
And Dolores hated him. Well, so did Gabby.
And Chriselle. Because they were there, the Bambis or whatever, aren't they?
Yeah, but Cushel's not there now. Of the people who were still there, both the Gabby and Dolores didn't like him very much. Plus, he was pointing fingers at Danielle, although Danielle denied that she knew that later on in the game.
Well, she didn't know that because Brittany, that's when the traitors were working together. Brittany said,
oh, that's right.
Gabby and Tom had saying your name last
Brittany
night. She was
did.
like, they? So, yeah, so she didn't know that. So that was quite a good little bit of information that she shouldn't have known. So they couldn't use that against her. But yeah, Tom was the one who was gone. Another man, which we like to see.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Big Brother Reindeer game, so I'm just looking it up. It is Christmas special. Yes, so another man went, Tom went, and...
Tom. He is a controversial Vanderpump Rules star. He's 42 years old, and he's eager to prove himself on the Traitors, saying in a promotional teaser, quote, "Finally, people were taking me seriously."
And they weren't, though, were they? Let's be
honest,
honest,
got
Tom.
the comedy edit, so... How serious?
I mean, I don't think it was that difficult. There was moments when he was literally having a break. Remember when he was eating that like lettuce or cabbage off his plate, and he just saw him like going.
That was 48 hours sober, wasn't it, I think, around then?
Well, you and I have kind of thought that he wasn't able to get his drugs quite as easily around Scotland, so. He's no Michael Jackson, let's just say, where Michael Jackson could go to a country and the doctor would subscribe.
Oh, right.
Allegedly. Sorry, gosh, I should add that.
What are you on about?
Allegedly. That's allegedly what Michael Jackson used to do. He used to go to a country and then his doctor would get the drugs that would...
Tom Sandoval...
Are you quickly trying to move me
was
on?
a main cast member of the Bravo series from 2013 to 2024. He made headlines in 2023 after it came to light that he had been in a months-long affair with fellow Vanderpump Rules co-star Rachel, despite being in a relationship with Ariana for 9 years.
God, what a scum of the earth.
So yes, he compared himself. This is where the controversy comes from, by the way, where everyone hates him. He compared this affair breaking and taking over the media, because obviously we all heard about it over here, didn't we?
Oh yeah, very important news. It was on it was a breaking news on the BBC.
He compared himself to the coverage of O.J. Simpson trial and George Floyd's murder.
What an awful thing to do.
But he did then apologise later on his own podcast the week later.
His own podcast. So I wonder if he was doing it in order to drum up publicity for his own podcast.
Basically, people are saying he's playing the heel of Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah, well, he is, clearly.
Do you want to explain what heel is?
Oh, a heel is a wrestling term for the bad guy.
Bad guy, right.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what else he's done? He was in a music video in Misunderstood by Bon Jovi. He played a character called Jack.
What, in the video?
Yeah.
They had names for the characters.
Well, a year later, he then returned to respy his role as Jack in a different song called All About Loving You. He was formerly a bartender, and he worked in the restaurant, which was then the Vanderpump Rules thing. I see
a little thing that I'd be interested in here.
He was in 2023. He was in Series 10 of The Masked Singer.
Love that show.
Diver. He got eliminated on episode 2.
Great voice. I love them. We've not talked about Macy Gray's appearance on the UK version of The Masked Singer.
I think we did, didn't we?
Did we? Suffice to say, she wasn't happy to be eliminated.
Let's see what his diver
Did you see
costume,
a clip online?
His diver costume. Does he look sexy in it or not?
No.
It's all a bit hit and miss.
He looks like a diver.
Yeah, it's a bit hit and miss on Masked Singer, but some of them look good in their weird costumes, don't they?
The best one in America I ever saw was Kermit the Frog.
I know, yeah.
No,
I wish we had that in the UK.
Could have Sooty or Sweep.
Yeah. How would Sooty sing?
That's it. It would just be silence for 90 seconds.
Or Sweep, for that matter.
Sweep would, well, you'd recognise Sweep immediately.
So, there you go, everyone. That is the fact file on Brittany and Tom Sandoval.
Yes. So there we go. So
we'll never hear about him ever again now.
No, we won't mention Tom again now. It's just in this series.
He doesn't have the cultural impact that Ekin-Su has.
No.
So we won't mention Tom again.
No, I wonder why people say we talk about Ekin-Su too much. Yeah. I've decided this room that's cold. It's not that I have a cold, because I only get a runny nose in the room that we record this in.
There's like a hole in the wall.
This little hole in the wall, coming back to the BBC. Yeah, so Ivor and Gabby were also up for elimination, and coincidentally, they were the two names, one more strongly than the other. One just kind of came up randomly at the round table later, but they were the two names that were getting bandied about throughout the day.
What were?
As Ivor and Gabby.
Well, Gabby and Danielle.
Well, Ivor was brought up though later, as I said, at the round table. But Gabby, but as the two traitors were choosing who to murder, they hadn't chosen Dylan or they hadn't chosen Dolores, because they both said that they were both strongly on their side.
Yeah,
Little did they know that Dylan was not. And so they went for those three, Ivor, Tom, and Gabby. Tom was ultimately murdered. But then, as you say, then the defensive kicked in, and Danielle and Brittany both then started throwing Gabby's name out left, right, and centre.
Yeah,
Not suspiciously though; they played it very well. I don't think that the finger pointing of suspicion was that strong.
It kind of came from nowhere, but like,
did it though?
They kind of just brought it up, and then
they had some strong points. The funny thing is that they began.
It was last week's vote,
yeah. And the fact that Gabby celebrated Tom was murdered, they kind of said, "Oh, that's a bit mean that she would do that." But it wasn't really, though, was it? Because I think
Dolores was literally cheering and clapping.
Yeah,
so
yeah, and also that Gabby was targeting Danielle and Gabby both targeted. Sorry, I'll start again. Carolyn and Gabby both targeted Danielle at the round table, which was like two traitors both going against someone. Mm-hmm. So all the time, Gabby's name is getting thrown out, mainly by Danielle, who was trying to push it, but Brittany kind of helped. There was the supporting act as well, but it was done quite subtly. I think it was done quite well
because the numbers are so low now. They're trying to get their votes because Danielle and Brittany are just 2 votes and there's only 6. It's quite easy for them to try to steer it in the right way.
Yes.
Also, they thought they had Dylan on side. They thought they had Dolores on side, and both of them were on side to get rid of Gabby. So it was kind of like the edit was very like, this is what's going to happen. Gabby's going to go.
Because the way Gabby was also portrayed when they were going to the challenge was that she looked a bit deflated. She looked a bit like she was giving in. Mm-hmm. But Gabby did find a second wind later at the round table. Dolores was the one that kind of just came out of nowhere as well at the round table. Like her
wild random vote, because normally she just votes for Tom. So this is the first week where she's had to actually pick something, and then she was like, "I know, I'll go for Ivor." Just out of nowhere, like, I think you're a traitor. And then that was where Danielle and Brittany kind of did eyes at each other, like,
wait for Ivor.
If we could do this, because it's not looking too good, let's just get Ivor out and it'll be safe. So
Dolores was right to kind of go for Ivor, I think, because she and again, to be fair, Gabby really surprised me this episode by the way that she had such an open mind going into the round table, which I think was a good, which convinced Dylan as well to support her theories. Gabby went in, had a good argument. She wasn't too aggressive against it, which was another thing that a lot of people said against Carolyn and against Rob. And Bob the drag queen.
Chilled and relaxed.
She was chilled, she was relaxed.
Because she's a faithful.
Danielle met her match on this one as well, where Carolyn was a bit unhinged and a bit crazy.
Didn't know what to say, yeah.
They were both they both had valid reasons why they went for one another.
My favourite bit was when Danielle was like, I voted for Rob twice, so I can't be a traitor.
Yes.
And Gabby was like, so did I.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh.
That really stumped her as well. Yeah, like, that stumped Danielle. Like, and it wasn't like...
Every point she had, Gabby was like, well, I've done that too.
She had a counterpoint immediately. I mean, there was points thrown for both of them each way. I mean, Gabby, it was pretty much Danielle and Gabby going for Danielle. She said about the traitor and traitor warfare, but on the last round table, she caught her leaving the secret room when they had to do the murder in plain sight.
She brought that up to Dylan in the bar
with Carolyn,
So,
and she said that was really suspicious. She didn't understand why they were in the secret room, and then there was the secret murder after that.
And then Dylan basically said that to Danielle, and she was like, "But you won't vote for me, will you?" He was like, "I have to look at these things." She didn't argue. She just
cried.
She fell back in the seat. She's like, "No, I can't believe it. No,
no, why would you do that? No, stop it, stop it, Dylan.
Even when it was like a joint vote, like Ivor had to do his speech, and then she was like, "Dylan," and she like focused on him, and she was like, "Please don't." But there was no reason why not to. It was just, please don't do it. And it's like, so yeah, she wasn't.
I thought that was a bad move because
Danielle has had lots of bad moves this whole series. We haven't ever said she's being a good traitor, and like this episode was probably her best game, but I feel that's mainly down to Brittany.
Well, this is the funny thing. This is Danielle's best opportunity now. She's got the game exactly how she wants to play it, and maybe she was too aggressive for Gabby. I know it's difficult, as you say, because the numbers are so few. Maybe she should have seen the writing on the wall, because Ivor wasn't... For the first time, Ivor, first of all, didn't go straight to the person who was basically... whose name was coming up a lot and said, we're all talking about you, like he normally does.
Yeah, first time.
So Ivor was playing his cards very close to his chest. Danielle maybe should have spotted that And maybe try to, instead of going against Gabby, got Gabby on her side against Ivor. I think that might have turned the table a bit.
Dolores never let anyone know that she was going to vote Ivor. Like, it literally came from nowhere. So like they couldn't really prepare for that.
I don't think Dolores knew though. I think when Dolores went to the round table, I don't think she had any plan. To be fair again to Dolores, as much as we say like she's a bit useless, she does go in there with an open mind, and she was listening to the arguments between Danielle and Gabby, and then she went, well, hang on a minute. Why is it a woman? Why is the traitor a woman? Maybe it's a man. And we know it's not Dylan.
Or did she just not want to vote for one of her friends because she trusts Danielle, she trusts Gabby, so she was just throwing her.
But she had good reasons to throw Ivor under the bus, to be fair. She said that Bob the Drag Queen voted for you twice. We know that he was going for traitors quite early on in the game because he went for Rob. There was a reason there. There was a reason for her to kind of go his direction. I think sometimes you can imagine that Dolores kind of sat there and the puzzle pieces went together in her head while that argument was happening between Danielle and Brittany. I think you might be right. I think she didn't want to also vote for her two friends, but
there's a lot of difficult gameplay around the table because you can't say, we're both traitors, let's look at each other. They were doing all of their eyes. And Danielle and Brittany read each other correctly. But then when it came to the revote, I feel there was a bit of confusion between Dolores and Brittany, where Dolores kind of said, I'm not voting either, I'm going to go after Danielle with her eyes. She said that. But that's what Brittany translated it as. So Brittany was like, oh, crap, if I don't vote Danielle and everyone else has changed their mind, I'm going to look suspicious. So I'm going to vote Danielle. And then when the revote happened, Dolores was like, I voted Ivor. And Brittany like shat herself and was like, oh.
But we don't know who Brittany's voted for yet, because that's the cliffhanger we were left on.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that is going to be what it is.
Do you reckon that was a game by Dolores? Maybe she suspected Brittany, and so she did it to see if Brittany would follow suit, because then it's obvious that then Brittany is a traitor. You never know. Dolores might have been playing a game with her.
Maybe.
Dolores could have been playing the game, against Brittany as well.
But that's all a bit of a kerfuffle, and I think Brittany has that's a Britishism. I'm like that woman, that cruise channel who said my weekly thing.
My weekly Britishism is
what's
plot.
Her name? Is it Emma? I don't know.
Emma Cruises.
That's it.
There you go. You got a shout out, Emma Cruises. Well done.
I think Brittany has messed this up, and she's accidentally voted out Danielle. But for Brittany, gameplay wise, I think that could work in her favour.
I think so.
Because she didn't want to vote for Danielle, and she said to Dylan, I can't. And now it's come to a revote, and now she has. So I think that could look quite authentic.
Danielle, it's funny because there's two traitors. If they get out a faithful on this one, it's going to be tougher for the traitor, for the faithful to win. But at the same time, I feel like Danielle is a given for a vote. I think that even if she doesn't go out this time,
they'll get rid of her.
They'll get rid of her via, and one of the ways could be via the seer, because obviously we played the game this episode as well. It was the exact same games as the UK version.
Not a good game.
Balloon dancing, dolls that go $1,200. You're too greedy.
Yeah.
If you want a voice actor, by the way.
Dylan said it exploded over his face.
Yes, Alan said, I hate it when that happens. Fair dues. Oh, nice one, Alan.
Dylan went back to his hotel room, took his top off and did some press-ups.
Yeah. Gabby was cleaning her hands with wet wipes for some reason, because water and soap isn't good enough.
Dylan said it was poo in a bag.
It wasn't poo.
It was poo. It was
wet
just
leaves.
It was wet
leaves.
autumn leaves.
Yes, it was wet autumn leaves.
These are so American. Have they not seen wet leaves before?
To be fair, they did come over and film this series in the worst summer Scotland has ever had, probably in the history of mankind.
Not good.
It was a terrible summer. So the challenge was that they had to obviously earn money for the prize pot, but they also individually playing to win the most money so they can get the seer.
Yes.
The seer, in case you're not up to date with the last series of the UK version, is when you can ask any player to reveal whether they're a faithful or a traitor.
And they have to be honest.
They have to tell the person.
And then once you leave, that's it. But you then know the truth.
Of who's still in, just playing devil's advocate, that Danielle and Ivor are still in the game, because obviously we will find out once there's been an elimination. Who do you think is the most dangerous player to get the seer power right now?
Dylan, I think.
Yeah.
But he's not going to get it because he's not won any money.
I
think Danielle at the moment has won it,
yeah.
but I think she's going to be banished. So who's in second place? Is it Dolores?
Well, Brittany did quite well as
Brittany,
well. Brittany
yeah.
did. But Brittany and Dolores had very similar values up until the final
I mean,
challenge
if a
with the
traitor
gold
gets
coins.
it, it's a bit of a dud because...
But they're the most dangerous people to get it.
Yeah, but then if they then lie the next morning, the person who said... Like, if Brittany wins and brings in Gabby and Gabby says, I'm faithful, and then the next morning Brittany goes, oh, Gabby said she was a traitor...
Yeah, but
it's a bit dangerous to like then be like, well, why are you lying?
But you had a valid point also while we were watching, which is we originally said if Danielle gets it and she brings in Brittany, then they could both say we're both faithful. But that could still play in another pair. So if Brittany had it and say, just for argument's sake, she brought in Gabby, Gabby's obviously going to say I'm faithful. They could still play.
Brittany says, so am I.
Yeah, Brittany can say, well, I'm also faithful. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad that we're both in the same boat.
True, yeah.
That works to Brittany's advantage too, because Gabby, I would imagine, or another player who went in with, who Brittany would bring in, would maybe feel more inclined to believe Brittany because she brought them in, thinking, I want to find out who the traitor is. I think the most dangerous player was a traitor. Sorry.
I mean, ideally, Dylan or Ivor would bring each other in and they'd work because they're like, we're the only boys left. We're working together. But both of them did really well and did really badly on the challenges, so they're not going to win it. So I'm guessing it's Brittany or
I think it's Brittany or Dolores. Yeah,
because Gabby kept losing money as well on the baby doll thing.
You're too greedy.
It's not a good challenge. This one. It's not very fun to watch. It goes on for like a really long time, and it's like. I have to say, it wasn't great on the UK one, and it wasn't great this time.
I know a lot of people quite enjoy the challenges on the Traitors, but I genuinely believe I'm in the camp where I think the challenges are the weakest part of the show.
When shields and things, I think it's good.
Even still,
and with the seer, but it's just this one it's just way too long and not good.
I mean, I don't know what they could do instead of challenges, because obviously they need to find a way of increasing the money and
plus
blah, blah,
all the
blah.
contestants say they like those because it's a bit of a break.
It's a bit of a break,
I think so.
But I don't want the contestants to be happy. I want them to be miserable in the whole process.
They're all sleep deprived.
If Dolores wins the seer, who do you think she'll bring in with her? I think she'll bring in Gabby.
But doesn't she?
Ivor. She could bring in Ivor if Ivor survives. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Who knows what Dolores is going to do?
I mean, she's
she
a wild
just does
cannon.
Random stuff, but yeah, it's exciting to see who's going to see. But I do think Danielle is gone. Which I'm not fussed about.
Well, so the vote was three for Danielle, 3 for Ivor. Danielle was voted for by Ivor, Gabby, Dylan. Ivor was voted for by Dolores, Danielle, and Brittany. Obviously, because it's a split vote, it's a tie, they have to re-vote again, but Danielle and Ivor aren't allowed to vote. Now, normally with this, there's other people in the mix, so then they have to change their vote. But in this occasion, obviously, unless someone changes their vote, it's going to be another split vote again, and then it's luck, which we know from the UK series is a coin toss, which is awful. As you know, as I've mentioned before, I don't like people who are eliminated by luck. No, because that's not fair. That's not fair in a game,
especially
like
at a banishment. It's like that's just stupid.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what other way there is around it, though. That's the problem. But they need to think it. We're on series 3 now. Come on, think new ways of doing things. But yeah. So as it stands, before they went,
maybe they could do like if it goes to that instead of a coin toss, they say how many votes have they had all series, and the person with the most votes all series. Yeah,
that could be.
So all the past votes take into account, something like that.
Or
maybe.
A fight to the death.
Well, it could be like The Biggest Loser, where they just hold on to a bit of rope, and whoever falls off first loses.
Yeah, but that's not fair.
Or go on a treadmill until you stop. That's what they did on The Biggest Loser. those weird challenges, or hang on a bar.
Well, that's very Survivor, actually.
Yeah,
Survivor do things like that. No, there must be a better way, a more eloquent way.
The votes that they previously had, maybe that's the way.
I think that's the best way, to be honest. It's a tough one, isn't it? I don't know. It's something for you to get in touch with us. faithfultotraitors@gmail.com. How can they get rid of players if there's a tie?
Make them run on a treadmill.
Yeah. Biggest Loser influences. That's absolutely acceptable.
Bring back Bob Harper.
Yeah, he could pop back, couldn't he? And
say, do a challenge.
Here's a challenge. I can't do his accent. So Danielle's got 2 votes and Ivor's got 1 at the moment as it stands. Gabby and Dylan have re-voted for Danielle. Ivor was voted for by Dolores again. Now,
that's where the confusion came in with Brittany.
Has Brittany voted for Ivor?
No.
So you think she's voted for Danielle?
Yes, because she thought Dolores had changed to Danielle, but she didn't.
She did gulp quite loudly when she saw that Dolores had voted for Ivor, and she went, "Gore." So that was
I do think Brittany has accidentally voted off Danielle in a repeat of history of Big Brother America history.
Yes.
Which I'm fine, because Danielle hasn't done a good game, so I don't care if she gets voted off.
Danielle's had her highs and her lows. Let's be honest. She's not
Her bad acting from last week was annoying when she fell onto the floor.
True, but her she's been at the round table accused on two occasions, not including this one, and both times she's been very, very good at defending herself. This time she wasn't. She crumbled. She fell apart this time, which is really ironic considering that she was in a much stronger position. And you think that confidence would kick in the round table. Maybe she always needs to be on her back foot in order
Too
to
much
play
evidence against her.
Yeah, but maybe Danielle needs to be like always running against it in order to play a better game. Maybe when she's in a good position, she doesn't play such a good game.
Maybe, but I don't think she had any chance to win anyway, so I'm not particularly fussed if she's voted off. And it's quite interesting because now no one really knows who the last traitor is because Brittany's just been recruited, and the curse of being recruited late hasn't attached itself to Brittany yet. So
Brittany's lucky.
Bit of a change.
Well, Brittany's lucky because I actually think that Danielle would have taken Brittany to the end. I think there was a genuine want for them to both finish at the end. And in a weird way also, I wanted to see Danielle and Brittany be the final two to see if they do the traitor's choice again.
That's only if there's 3 traitors.
Well, if there's... No, they must do it if there's 2 as well.
No, if there's 2, they should take the money.
Do you reckon they split it?
Oh, well, can only one traitor win?
I think only one traitor can win.
I'm not sure.
But that's what I mean. I'll be interested to see what the rules are for that when it comes to the very
traitor's
end.
dilemma.
The traitor's dilemma.
Roger Corser called it.
Because, well, I mean, maybe the traitor's dilemma is only if it's only traitors at the very end.
That's what happened. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. So I think you might be right. So there's 3 because they stop after 3, don't they? Because there's no point of carrying on the vote because it will just stop. So yeah, so 2 could win it, 3 can't win it. So the traitor's dilemma. You're quite right. Well done, Roger Corser. You're hot.
God love him.
God love him.
Roger Corser looking good. So yeah, I'm quite happy to see because then from the final, when they get banished, they don't say whether they're faithful traitor either. So.
No, we're at that point now as well. In fact,
so
I think this banishment
Brittany could have
this banishment is also when they don't say.
No, it's only on the final banishment.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'll shut up.
Just get with it, please.
What was it that person said about me, which cracked me up? The comment said like Ben talks sense, but Alex is erratic.
Yeah, Ben holds the show. Is the glue that holds the show together, but I like Alex's erratic word.
Find the actual thing. And while you're doing that, I'll let people... Oh, sorry, is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Anything else we need to talk about on the show? Creepy dolls?
No.
Clowns or balloons?
I can't find it. There's too many messages.
But thank you. You probably know
We've got a message from Chris from Naked and Afraid Canada, by the way. So
I love Chris from Naked and Afraid Canada.
He liked our thing about Sam, but his butt's not as good as his. So.
Oh, really?
Well, apparently.
Thank you very much.
We'll have to find out.
Well, the only way I'd know is by seeing a picture. You know?
You leave Chris alone.
I love Chris. You know I love Chris.
He's naked and afraid still.
A
year later.
I'm always naked and afraid. I'm in that shower, I'm naked and I'm afraid and I'm crying every day.
I think Brittany has a good chance of winning, actually. I think she's not gonna be on anyone else's radar because she's been a faithful this whole time, and I think she could win, and Dylan will cry. Dylan is so at the final fire pit, as in brokenhearted and betrayed.
Oh God, yeah, this is the end of Dylan. Dylan,
Zac Efron's brother, that is.
Dylan, yeah. Just in case you didn't know, Dylan. This is going to destroy Dylan. I think he'll become a recluse after this series.
I can't wait till next week when I can learn what Down to Earth is. They keep putting that under his name, Dylan from Down to Earth. What's Down to Earth?
What are you deliberately stopping yourself because you don't want to spoil what's
I don't
your name
know anything
to come
until
from?
the fact file. Yeah, that's the first time I know anything about anyone.
Final 3 then at the fire pit.
Brittany.
Yep.
Dolores. Dylan.
I think the same. How funny. I think that the
Ivor will just go. They'll just get rid of him because he's the token British.
Yes, that's what he said himself.
And they always vote them off right at the last minute because they don't want them to win, which is fine.
So for the 5 at the round table, Ivor will be voted off at the round table. Then the 4 at the fire pit. How are they going to vote Gabby though? Do you think that? Do you think Danielle would have given them more?
I've not thought that far ahead. Don't ask me.
Yeah, but do you think Danielle convinced? They kept saying Gabby's name, and the edit was almost insinuating that people have suspected Gabby for a while.
Dylan suspected her from episode 1 before she was even a traitor.
That's true.
So
Gabby's not a traitor.
No, before they even picked the traitors.
Oh, I see.
So who knows? But I don't know if because Gabby and Danielle have both had their names thrown out, then. That's now tainted Gabby, probably.
I think you're right. I think they'll get rid of Ivor, knowing that he's not a traitor, but token Brit out. They'll then do the fire pit, get rid of Gabby, think they've got rid of the traitor, and then I think I genuinely think that Brittany, Dolores, and Dylan will stay in, and they'll finish the game together, and then Brittany will just say, "I'm a traitor." Good for Brittany. I'll tell you what, she's done quite well. We suspected that she was going to be out quite early.
She was kept in the whole time by Danielle being a traitor, so she was kept in, not murdered, this whole time, and now she's been able to fly under the radar as a faithful.
Danielle's a very good example, and I can't think of where this has ever happened, actually, where she's been kept in by a traitor because of her friendship. Because we say that it's sometimes good to stay close to a traitor and keep them in the game, if you're faithful. She then became a traitor and now might win as a traitor. So to be fair to Brittany, consciously or not, she's actually played a decent game. She's stuck with Danielle.
But did she have that NDA advantage that Caroline has said, where Danielle told her she was a traitor?
I don't think that happened, I'll be honest. But I do think...
You're calling Caroline a liar?
No, I'm not calling her a liar. I think she's a bit misguided on this one. But
there's a hilarious photo of Caroline on her Instagram, by the way, where it's like, it's like 5 photos you scroll through, and it's like, it was her in like a bar. It was like a picture of a bar, and then her friends at a bar, and then like her lined up with 2 other people either side of her. But the picture of her is like this, when you like move in a photo, and it's just like a blur. Like the 2 people are completely still, and Caroline's just a blur in the middle. It made me laugh so much. Like that is literally the definition of Caroline.
That's her
She couldn't say still in the digital photo, and it's just this weird like messy blur, and that's what she uploaded.
She's a messy blur. There you go.
I like that. I like that you uploaded that. That made me laugh.
God forbid, the day she dies and her tombstone is put in the ground, they should say Caroline, the messy blur. That's what she should be known for. So, bless her.
Love her.
So let us know, get in touch, let us know what you guys' theories and thoughts are about the final coming up for the American Traitors. faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com. You can email us with your thoughts and theories. You can comment underneath the video if you're watching us on YouTube. Just search for Faithful to the Traitors podcast. Don't forget to like, ring the bell, click for notifications, and subscribe to the channel. Find us on X @Traitors Podcast, on Instagram @Faithful to the Traitors. And as we say, if you want to help with the podcast, don't forget to share us with your friends. Give us 5-star reviews on any of your favourite podcast apps. And you can help us monetarily with buymeacoffee.com/faithful, where if you put a comment in, we guarantee we'll also read the comment out on the show too.
Yes. So next week we'll hear for the final then. So let us know what you think.
I'm here for the final.
And we will see you then. I was going to say, I did that wrong. And remember to stay faithful.